Hello, fabulous Aquarius. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of November 2014, Love Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This month, where it comes to love, I do think that some of your most powerful attractions and most meaningful connections are seemingly going to come out of nowhere and are going to be the type of thing that you might not want to so readily admit or to share, despite an inclination to do so. There's just so much energy happening in the chart that has to do with what is clandestine, what you're keeping private, what you're keeping close to the heart, close to the chest, what it is that you want to fully understand before you start to put it out there, before you start to share in a bigger way. At the same time, we've got some other energy happening that has to do with being really social. And so as just like it sounds, those two are quite contradictory. On the one hand, you're going to want to be social, you're going to want to be out there. On the other hand, there's a strong desire to protect what it is that either you believe you have or you do have, or what it is that you believe is now in development, or what it is that you're hoping eventually will be in development as well. There's this whole notion of sort of secret projects and secret yearnings and things that you want to sort of start putting into place so that you can connect with people in a more meaningful way, or at least connect with one person in specific in a more meaningful way as well. However, especially later and later into the month, while in the middle of the month, there's a lot of reality checks where it comes to love happening. And does this person really fit the big picture I have with my life kind of energy happening? By the time we get you to the end of the month, there's just so much social energy, and there's just so much energy that's all about really lovely surprises where it comes to love. That I do think that if there's any connection that you're trying to establish or make stronger in the first part of the month, then you want to honor that, because that is ultimately going to lay part of the foundation. That's what's going to allow you to step out in bigger ways a little bit later on. So let me break it down a little bit. Mainly what we have happening here is, yes, we do have a full moon taking place. I spoke about at length in the general overview video. But this particular full moon is taking place at the very bottom of your sky, at the very base of the chart. And it tends to be one of the more private moments or private areas of the chart, if you will. You add to this the fact that we've got Mars moving through the sign just before yours. And this is also a part of the sky that tends to have a certain quietness, under the radar type of energy to it. This is very much about pursuing those connections and facilitating those bonds and those attractions as well, but doing so in a way where you really don't want other people to be so aware of them. Now, the motivation behind that, ultimately, you know, I always like to say, always do what it is that feels right in your spirit to do, and don't do what doesn't feel right. But having said that, it does look like this probably does feel right, given that we have Mars and Pluto meeting in this part of the sky and speaking in supreme harmony with the full moon as well. So it does look like you're sharing some very private moments or coming to some very private understandings as to your unconscious motivations as well, and resolving where you are currently right now, where it comes to at least a physical attraction, and where it is that you ultimately desire to go. But there's a very private element to what's taking place in the first part of the month. In the middle of the month, Venus is going to meet your ruling planet at the very top of your chart. Now, this is all about all of us in some way are going to be getting reality checks around love and around money as well. Where it is that we've been doing the right thing and the ethical thing, the responsible thing, this can be a really good time. This can be a time of just really strengthening a commitment, strengthening a resolve, saying to yourself, yes, I believe I have what it is that I am meant to be with, what it is that I've been looking for, and making that bond even stronger, solidifying that for yourself. However, this can also go the other way, in all honesty, because this is about the reality check. If your reality is not grounded and is not honest, this is you being clear with yourself about that, being honest with yourself about that as well. And given that this is your ruling planet, given that your ruling planet is moving at the top of your sky, it does suggest that the honesty that comes reaches right to the core of you, right to the identity, and also speaks to where you understand your life is going. Does this person fit in with, not necessarily just a bigger picture, but is this person in alignment with what I understand my life purpose to be? Do they facilitate that? Do they take me away from that? And if they are not part of facilitating that, you're going to get honest with yourself and choose a higher direction for yourself. This can also play out in terms of you deciding to elevate, and actually you realize that you are with somebody who helps you fulfill your life purpose in their own way, and to strengthen that bond as a result. But you get that clear, honest understanding that actually what maybe you thought was fun, or what maybe you thought was just for now, actually no, I'm learning a lot of really important spiritual lessons from this person. And in some way, this person does make me better, helps me see things in myself that I like and that I respect. But the big news, I think, for me, where it comes to you for love, happens in the later part of the month. In the last few days of the month, Venus will speak in supreme harmony with your ruling planet, Uranus. And this is so great for you. I think that you are going to be one of the more favored where it comes to romance as we get to the later part of the month. We are going to have Venus in the second part of the month moving through the part of the sky that has to do with friendships, that has to do with social events. Venus moving through this part of the sky will speak in supreme harmony with your ruling planet. And your ruling planet currently is in a part of the sky that has to do with conversation and communication. And networking as well. So these are very social placements happening. And so it does look like if you're in a bond, you're having a lot of fun with this person and some lovely surprises are in store for you. If you are not in an established bond, the chance of you actually meeting somebody and this being something very meaningful to you, or at the very least a lot of fun for you as well, or possibly facilitated by a friend as well, is strongly indicated. So if you are in an established bond, I do think that this, the energy of home is going to be the dominant energy, especially if you live with this person. And so it does look like you are making changes energetically. You may be sort of like releasing any kind of barriers that might have been there. Coming to understand who this person is much more deeply, sharing moments with this person that are, again, very close to the heart. So this is very much about you saying, oh, yes, I am so committed. I am bonded to this person, and feeling that deep sense of not necessarily just a commitment that Saturn brings. Saturn brings a more traditional commitment, but the type of commitment you feel with Mars and with Pluto is like a commitment on a level of fate, on a level of soul. And so this is that bond feeling that much more stronger. So this is with somebody, this applies if you're with somebody that you are very comfortable with or living with. That bond becomes that much more stronger. Things that maybe you didn't say before, weren't feeling comfortable really exposing before, or them as well. It's like you finally reveal things to each other that you've held back for a really long time, pains of the past, that really helps the two of you come a lot closer. Those of you who have somebody in your sphere, I do think that Venus meeting Saturn is going to be partly the more dominant energy. It is possible that you meet somebody and you sort of try to or desire to facilitate a bond, or if there's somebody right now in your sphere, it does look like there's this move to spend more private time with them. However, I gotta say, I do think the dominant energy, Venus meeting Saturn, is all about you looking at who are you actually with. And considering that this placement is happening at the very top of your chart, do they fit what you understand your life purpose is or not? That's going to be the big reality check. Why am I keeping this hidden? Are you keeping this hidden because you know you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing? Or are you keeping it close to the chest because you do want to protect it? And why do you feel that need to protect it? This could also be you deciding to spend more alone time with them, yes. But again, if this is just somebody you're dating or getting to know, you are going to have to answer for yourself the question, why are we not getting out there more? Why are we not being more social? Those of you not in an established bond, I do think Venus and Uranus, as I said already, are really going to bless your life. It does look like if you are invited to go out, go. Especially in the second part of the month. If friends want to facilitate meetings, let them. Be open, go to networking events, go to social events, because it does look like you're very likely to meet somebody with whom you have a very quick connection. But at the very, very least, you are going to have at least a few exchanges that really do seem to light you up, that really do seem to bring a lot of joy and restore your faith that love is possible and that things really can turn around very, very quickly in the context of love as well. One thing is for sure though, the universe, yes, has some very lovely surprises and quick happening that seem to delight you to no end. But to get there, you first are going to have to face some hard truths about yourself and where you are in love. You are going to have to look deep within your heart and deep within the dynamic of any kind of bond that might be there now or was there in the past in an attempt to understand it through a different lens. And ultimately, this is about understanding the past with a lens that absolutely empowers you and empowers you enough to truly embrace greater love, which is certainly on offer for you now.